Alright, let's get the party started. I'm here on World Star Hip Hop. World Star Hip Hop is like a very intriguing website. It has an eclectic viewpoint on the things that it has to offer. Mostly gangster hip hop, rap, and ratchet videos. But other than that, it is a great website for entertainment and interesting news. They always have like random, obscure things that come out of nowhere, and you're like, where the hell did they find this, or who's uploading this? And usually it's just a bunch of nonsense, but sometimes they have some very interesting things that go on. So the first video I wanted to talk about, and this is straight off of my Facebook feed. I usually update it with like random things that I find online and just in things that are intriguing to me. So it's not always like political things, even though this show is going to be like very political based, just because the current events and things that are going on are too crazy to not talk about. So with this video is draw your own conclusions. Man believes 5G transmitter is destroying one half of this tree. This video is crazy, and it has some very interesting connotations, I guess, and people would say.
Right, here we go. Here we go. Right, so we have a tree here. Not a very good looking tree. All the bark's falling off. All on the left hand side. Look on the left hand side of that tree. Look on the right hand side. That's alright. Yeah. Right, well look at the right hand side of the tree. Look at the flower. Look at the bushes. Look at the green bushes. Yeah. Very nice. Look at the left hand side. Dead. Do you know why? Because that's right next to it. Look at this. Have you seen anything like that in your life? It's got a light right there. The transmitter on the top. Now how is that? Explain that. The right hand side of the tree that's not next to the transmitter, the growing away from it, is okay. I mean look at this, look how shocking. Look at all the bark falling off. All dead. Totally dead. Far too close to the light. Look at the bark. All on the left hand side, look. Look how close it is to the light. These 5G transmitters are lethal. If that's what it's doing to a tree, right next to a tree, think about what these are doing to our health. Just think about that for a minute.
This is very interesting, this video in particularly, just because I don't think it's been debunked. I don't think that anybody's come out and said anything crazy about this video or the other videos that are like it, because I've seen multiple videos about 5G on one side of something organic and then 5G on the other side of something organic. And yeah, this stuff is pretty crazy. I'm kind of skeptical about 5G for various reasons, but mainly it's just like we already know that cell phones cause different types of diseases and different types of effects on humans, and we already know that there's some health risks to having cell phones. Like, it's publicly available for people to look up and just see that there's a lot of different health things that go on with the transmission of cell phone radiation. So amplifying that and amplifying it in such a shortwave dense format, I don't think it's going to be very good for humans in general. I know that 5G's already out there. 5G's already out there in various formats. Like, for instance, it's out there in modems and things like that. But it's very crazy when it goes into the spectrum of like cell phone waves and things like that. Various people who I listen to, they say that this form will vibrate the water molecules in your blood and cause oxygen shortages and things like that. And they relate this to a lot of the COVID-19 symptoms and things like that, shortness of breath and things like that. So it's very interesting that that this even can occur. But I think we should definitely do some more research on things. just look into it more and just see like what are the real reasons for 5G for all humans. Like the speeds that I have on my phone are incredible right now. So, and I doubt that they're just gonna let 5G be free since it costs hella money to roll out anyways. So the people who are gonna be messing with the 5G are not gonna be the people who only get affected by 5G, and that's very very interesting. And just again, people usually don't need the full bandwidth of the speeds of whatever they're using, whether it's like just at home use and things like that. Like if they're at home just playing the game, or at home doing things online, sending emails and things like that, they'll have like some crazy internet package of like 600 megabytes per second, but they will not be using even like 10% of that. They literally just stream videos and just like hang out at their house and do things like that. So it's very interesting that they're saying that 5G, we need this, we need to speed up the internet, we need to do all of these things, and it doesn't really seem like it's that necessary right now. So I mean, it's hard not to come off like super conspiratorial and things about like in that nature, but when you see things like this, it's very intriguing and alarming. Just because like they're talking about putting this like extremely widespread, extremely like close to people, children, schools, all types of stuff, like refitting a whole school with 5G and different things like that. And there's been stories where they put like cell phone towers or cell phone equipment on schools or near schools, and kids come away with cancer, and a lot of people come away with cancer and stuff like that. So it's not like unheard of that cell phone radiation is dangerous. I see videos online as well of people trying to like debunk it and things like that, and it's interesting when they try to debunk it. But I see much too much science and hear from a lot of different credible sources online that besides the conspiracy, it's just like mathematics and just like reality. That these things augment people in certain ways, tumors, cancer, other illnesses. And now we're seeing that the 5G is harming organics and things like that. And some research has been out there that says even things like it cuts down oxygen in the blood and causes different respiratory symptoms and illnesses. So this video is pretty crazy. I would say definitely pretty crazy. And just be wary of things like this. And not all new technology, I believe, is going to be an advancement. Like technology is wonderful. Elon Musk, Tesla, you could just say that because they're like the only, well, not all the only, but they're the biggest name out there that's doing some really good technological advances, like space travel and different things like that. So technology is not all bad, I would say, but this technology, it's just like, let's just be wary and see like its real applicable sources. I think that internet speeds should definitely go up, and I've definitely seen that that the 5G, I've read on Google. I was like, is 5G the same as the 5G from cell phone towers? And they say it's a different frequency somehow, or a different slightly. So it's probably affecting us still, but not as crazy as the 5G from cell phone towers and things like that. But I'm talking kind of in pretense because this video is actually very old, and it's interesting because like right now there's 5G compatible phones out right now, and I don't know if there's even like a study or case study on people who have 5G devices like receiving cell phone signals, that if that is there, are there a higher rate of people getting ill from it, or feeling any symptoms, or feeling any difference like restless sleep, or just like headaches and things like that. So I would like to see just a case study on like people with regular cell phones versus 5G cell phones. But I guess in theory it really doesn't matter anymore because they already still are producing the 5G right now. So it's like talking in past tense, like, well, guys, we should hold up before we set ourselves on fire, and they're already on fire. So I mean, we just got to look at these things, and I think that I mean, like for me, I am a COVID denier. I'll just say that right now. I do deny COVID. COVID is very interesting illness that's going around, or supposed illness or whatever. But it's much too inflated and gone way too out of proportion for what I would recommend for society. But my opinions are my own. But what I'm saying basically is that the 5G rollout and the COVID-19 whole pandemic happened almost simultaneously, because I know like Huawei and huge other developers of the 5G networks in countries were just rolling it out in major different areas, and these videos started popping up. So I don't know if there's a direct relation, but I feel like there is some sort of relation here, and it definitely should be looked at, because no one really is putting the two and two together right now. Right now, people are just talking about having masks on and doing things like that, and I don't believe that is a logical format to try to approach this illness, because I was against masks and other things early on, because I was getting my sources of information from other people, not just the internet, not just CNN and the mainstream media, but getting it from sources like Dr. Stella Emanuel, just real doctors, real health experts that were coming out and exposing it basically early on. A lot of people came out to expose all of the things that were going on and just saying how sketchy it was, that what we were doing, and how it was ill practices and not really helping anybody, and not the smartest way to approach any type of viral deadly disease. So it's just very interesting that our approach right now is just very off on various things. Like, I mean, recently they even came up with double, triple, quadruple masks, and just things that it's just getting silly at this point. And they're saying there's no slow coming anytime soon with any of the preventative measures that they've already put into play. There's going to be no slow in any of this illness spreading, and there's going to be more and more deaths. But then the friggin' crazy part about it is that when they say more and more deaths, it's proven that they're inflating the deaths in various ways. It's even come out in like mainstream media and stuff like that, that they're counting almost every death, even though the person died from like crazy stuff. They're counting those deaths. So these things have come out, and people still are just like in a panic mode because they hear these death numbers. But then when you relate these death numbers to not even just the year previous, like total overall deaths versus this year, but like, for instance, like when you look at the death rate of flu and cancer and all these other things that were killing people beforehand, they drastically dropped off as COVID-19 deaths increased. And you see that like roughly, if I remember correctly, like 70 to 80% of the people who are dying or more have a pre-existing conditions, and I heard the average age is like 78 or people are dying from COVID-19. So I mean, 78 is not super duper old. It's super old, but not ridiculously old. But at the same time, like, you're getting close to death in those ages. And those people usually have one or two pre-existing conditions that are serious. And people die from illnesses and sicknesses. You can't just say that medication will fix it for all time. Sometimes it requires other things other than medication from doctors to save people. I know it sounds crazy, like a doctor prescribing this, it should be perfect for you, but sometimes it doesn't. Those are just masking agents. These people died because of their conditions. So they're bloating the numbers of COVID-19 with these deaths and causing stricter and stricter restrictions and things like this. So this is a long kind of explanation of 5G and COVID-19. But similar, when this video came out, there was a lot of talk about 5G and the health effects of it. So very interesting to check out.